My Sifu had a really dry sense of humour. I loved to make a joke, but was always very cautious to make sure that he didn't make people that are involved in the story get too embarrassed. So he would never give all the details except to the closest people, but he would always tell the stories to get a bit of a laugh from people. And one of the stories that I recall quite vividly, he talked about one member of a particular lineage of martial arts that was pretty prominent in Hong Kong, and one day that they were having a bemo, having a fight, testing their skills, and Sifu, as he was pretty often did, he was able to beat the guy pretty easily, and the fellow just started shaking his head and saying, "Oh, you Wing Chun guys, you know, one-on-one it's very hard to fight you, but our style, we can fight 5, 6 guys, no trouble." And so if there's more than one opponent, we can easily win, whereas you Wing Chun guys, you can't do that. And Sifu said to him, "I'm having trouble working this out. So you're saying that if one of your guys fights one of the Wing Chun guys, you can't beat him. But if one of your guys is fighting 5 Wing Chun guys, you can beat him. What's going on?" And he just left the guy thinking about it. And because that was the way he would deal with a situation like that, he tried to turn it around on the guy. There's another time, another member of the Wing Chun family, different branch of the tree, asked Sifu to watch while he was teaching something in the class, and it involved the application of the tan sao and the punch. And this person, when he was shifting his body, was moving from one side to the other, pivoting on the balls of the feet. And in the Wong Shun Leung system, we always pivot on the heel, because our belief is that the heels connect you to the ground in a more secure way, and therefore your body remains in the center all the time. It's not shifting around. So after he demonstrated this technique from going from one side to the other, very extreme movement, he said, "What do you think? What do you think?" And my Sifu goes, "I've watched what you're doing," and he said, "I've just got one concern. That every time you move like that, you don't seem to be able to reach your opponent." "Oh, that's okay, that's okay. He can't reach me either." And Sifu just smiled and said, "Isn't that the point? We're trying to hit the guy." And so again, he basically threw it back at the guy to make him think about it without totally demeaning him. And one other episode I remember quite vividly, he was explaining to us how he was watching a demonstration in Hong Kong. The Urban Council, which is the governing body in Hong Kong in those days, had organised a big celebration and a series of demonstrations of various martial arts. And he said he was totally stunned when one instructor from a fairly esoteric martial arts system announced that he was going to demonstrate the ultimate way to defend against a man with a gun. And everybody, of course, their eyes opened up, their ears pricked up. They wanted to see, "Wow, this is amazing, a Kung Fu man who can beat a man with a gun." And so the instructor came out onto the stage, and he had his students stand about probably 5-10 meters away, quite a distance, with a toy gun representing the weapon. And as the students stood there going, "I'm going to shoot, I'm going to shoot," the instructor proceeded to get down on the ground and somersault and roll like a monkey across the floor before leaping up and beating the guy up. And my Sifu just looked at it and said, "What's he doing? He's teaching his students how to die. You could shoot the guy on every somersault and still have time to reload." And that's how he looked at things. He looked at things from a practical way, and if he thought it looked like it was stupid or dangerous or just not practical at all, he couldn't help himself. He'd have to make some sort of comment, but he would never stand there and say, "Oh, that's a load of rubbish." He would just pose a question or just say something to make everybody think about it. That was just the sort of guy he was. Very pragmatic, very down to earth, and also a very funny man.